Look at your hair. Hey guys, this is Scott Goldberg from ScottGoldMovies.com here with Chris Margaritis. Say hello.
Hey, how you doing?
And basically, we want to talk a little bit about Mr. Mullen. Now, Mr. Mullen's a film we've been doing since November 2008. It's basically was a rape PSA that we decided to turn into a film. And so that's why we're here today to talk a little bit about it for those who are interested. Now, Mr. Mullen is a film that's very political, touches on a lot of social issues, and I think it's very important. And Chris is an actor who I've been working with since Loss of Hope. He played a Vietnam soldier. And so, Chris, you got anything you want to say as far as like the experience making the film, and as far as like what your mindset was making the film, and where you were at while you were doing the character? Was it really that far from from who you were? Would you say?
Well, the guy turns out to, well, actually, is really far from where I am now, but the guy takes it to the next level where he actually takes out what he's thinking and goes ahead and plots his revenge and against these people that did wrong against him. So, I mean, I wouldn't never go that far, but as you said, we started it off as this film started as a rape PSA,
All right.
and the first scene we did with Ashley, which is the other actress that plays in the movie, she it turned out pretty well. So I guess we both like suggested to each other that maybe we'll make a short film out of it because the way he came out, how good he came out that day.
All right. What do you remember from that day? From like a lot of people see that the footage in our upcoming documentary in production, but what do you think about that kind of you know the rain and all the blood and getting muddy. I mean, there was a part even where she said, you know, she don't I don't care. Let's go into that freezing river like in
Right?
30-degree
Well,
weather.
it was real cold that day. I remember changing into the clothes and the guy, my character had wet, bloody clothes on, so we actually had to like. Well, we didn't have to do much because we just had to stand outside and get everything wet. But we actually had to get it dirty and bloody. So, you know, we dragged the shirt and the pants through the mud and everything. And as we're doing the scene, we're both in like the freezing rain and dirt. And then at the end, like you said, Ashley was willing to go into it was like a pond area or whatever, water. I don't know, it was freezing water. I know that.
Smelly too, like
Yeah,
really.
stunk. Yeah, it was smelly. So of course, when she agreed to do it, we both, ended up dragging her into the water after, killing her or whatever. So, it turned out to be more than a rape PSA. After that, it was a great idea for a film. So that's how Mr. Mullen got started.
Now, what were you thinking, like as far as like when that was happening, like when you guys were gonna go into um, the smelly, muddy. It was like really, it was really weird, like the smell, you know. And like, what do you remember? Like, did you not want to do it? But then since Ashley said, you know, let's do it, you had to do it. I mean, like, what was your
No,
opinion on
yeah,
like?
I mean, I mean, I was like thinking about it, as I'm dragging it down towards the water. Of course, you wanted to make it look like more realistic as possible. So there's nothing more realistic than actually doing it. So
Right.
she agreed to do it, and that's how it happened. I dragged her, and we both went into the water, and you know, after from then on, the film turned out to be really, you know, came out to be more than a rape PSA. It came out to Mr. Mullen, which you'll see
Yeah.
soon.
And it seems, you know, I'm sure you'll agree, is that like in the film, it's not really, there's not really a lot of that dragging into the water stuff. I mean, even though it was, we shot all
No,
that stuff, it didn't end up going in there
no,
because of a lot of other issues. You know, we had Ashley was in SAG, so that's, you know, Screen Actors Guild, and, you know, we're doing a
right,
non-union film, so she obviously couldn't, you know, she thought it was going to be like a one-day thing, and it went, but, you know, I should have known that, you know, I wanted to turn it into like this short film, 7-minute short film, so we did. And but what do you remember mostly? Like, what's your favorite moment as far as like in the film? You saw the film composed right now. I showed it to you. What is your opinion on like the whole? Like, what's your favorite scene? Would you say in the film? The one that stands
um,
out that you remember, and tell us about that scene and what was going through your head and the weather and everything.
well, after the first, obviously I didn't know what was gonna come after this first scene because we had no script or anything. This was, like I said, a 1 day shoot, and I, I mean, I was psyched to do a film because of that first scene. So it came out so well. So after that, there was like various like killings and everything. The mayor ended up getting killed. Um, the daughter of the mayor's wife. You know, there's a lot of people who get like killed by my character. So I think I found the death scenes fun with the blood and
Right.
everything. There was also like a dream sequence, which which is pretty fun doing. So you know, there's gonna be a lot of blood and stuff in this film, but the whole point is that my character gets his revenge at the end. That's
And it seems like people could say oh revenge. It's a typical story. What do you think makes this film not so typical than like the conventional revenge story? I guess.
well, this guy's not like really a monster. You know, like in real life, he was a regular guy. He held a regular job until finally the mayor like screwed his whole life up. So he lost his job. He ended up losing everything. So the guy kind of like snapped. You know, it wasn't like he was like that his whole life. He was just a
Sure.
regular guy, hardworking, blue collar guy. And at the end, this is what happens, and you've seen it happen in real life. You know, people just go nuts, snap, and start like killing people. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
And Paul Crockett is actually in the film. You were there that day when we were shooting his scenes. I hear
yeah,
like birds
right,
all over
right,
the place. Actually, that's kind of funny because remember we were actually shooting, and certain things happen during a film and that kind of stuff. Like you hear the birds behind us. I mean, I remember when we were shooting Paul's scene. I think we were shooting, and then the birds. Even this happened for you. Like when you shoot an independent film, you get all these surroundings. So sometimes it just it
right.
it's annoying too. But talk about the Paul scene, and you were there for that. That took like what 5 minutes, not even 10 minutes.
Yeah. Paul Cracker was also an actor. He was in Friday 13th Part 3. He was nice enough to come and shoot with us
Yeah.
from California, down from California. So we did a scene, and we had the same problems. I mean, we're outdoors, so you hear like the birds going off. The lot, sometimes
Everything.
he's here for a couple days, so the film is mainly shot in like cloudy conditions
Yeah.
just to get like the mood right. So we had to work around all this and get everything to come together at the end. So you know, fortunately we got Paul's stuff shot the days he was here,
Yeah.
and I think he added a lot to the film just being in it.
Well, because of him, we actually shot them stuff out in Montauk, which is my friend Chris is doing a not this Chris, but Chris Garitano is doing a documentary, and me and Paul had talked about where the scene should take place, and we decided on Montauk, and so kind of want it kind of ties into the whole mind control thing as well, which was what the RFID chipping in the film is about. I mean, there's scenes that you and I shot like maybe like 3 months ago, 2 months ago, is basically like where it was totally different before all this Montauk stuff, before Paul's scenes happened. It was totally different. It was there were like just scenes of you like running and stuff, and we still haven't shot a lot of that stuff yet, and we're going to, and before the September rolls around or whatever, October when it changes, but. Um, that seemed interesting to me, that you're shooting one full thing. I mean, we even started back in what was it, April
April, yeah,
or March or April, whatever
right.
it was.
Everything was different. As the seasons change, you got to be careful of the
Yeah.
scenery. When we started, I believe there was no leaves on the trees, and everything was kind of dead still from the winter. And as we're shooting, we kind of caught it in between where the season started to change, and everything started blooming. So we had to rush the first couple of scenes um, that we shot. But I think everything worked out at the end. We worked around everything. A lot of the stuff for the project, which we're shooting now, is shot on the beach and in Montauk. So, like, greenery doesn't really matter. So, I think
Yeah.
we got everything in.
So we have about 45 seconds or so, or 50 seconds left. Is there anything you want? I mean, look, and I talked to you about this. As I interview Chris all the time, I tell him, don't give the usual like, oh, it was great working on the film, blah blah blah. It's the same old shit that they do in all these documentaries. But what would you say is something that you learned while making this film? That like, let's say, I mean, you learn every time making a film. Would you say like what was it? What was like a small specific, I guess.
Acting is hard work,
Right.
especially the way we do it. I mean, we're not working with any kind of big budget or anything, so
Right.
it's hard work. Seasons change. You work in the winter; it's freezing, and it's grueling work. But at the end, you'll see everything comes out nice. So it's well worth it at the end.
Cool. Thank you very much.